So today we're going to talk about the compassion in action. Yeah, I saw something like that, which is not easy. There I heard somebody said, just do as I said, but don't do what I do. so saying is easy, doing is not. So you know. So this compassion in action is, I think, in the Buddhism, that is the what is called the practice. So who can have a compassion, truly compassion, as the person who have a genuine love. If you cannot develop genuine love, it's impossible to have a genuine, or can say, compassion compassion in action is hard to have. So that is like a example is when you walk in the street, you see all kind of people. There are many. You can see many destitute people. Yeah, but you have a feeling of compassion, but that feeling has never become responsibility. Yeah, because you feel like it's not your responsible. So long as it's not, that feeling is not become a responsibility, and it never become a compassion in action. Just become a feeling. So when talking about a compassion, so compassion is everyone have. Like last time we talking about the Buddha nature. So in the Uttara Tantra, there's one quote said, how we can say every sentient being have a Buddha nature? What is the sign? What is the proof that can say every sentient being have a Buddha nature? And in that text it said, so the reason is everyone have a what does it mean, the awareness?
Wildness?
Where? Yeah.
Weariness?
Yeah, weariness.
To be tired.
Yeah.
Weariness.
Yeah, weariness. Weariness, or everyone have a wholehearted toward to the suffering, which is mean that everyone wishing to be free from suffering. Yeah, and everyone actually looking for the liberation. Liberation means the, to have some kind of sense of freedom, sense of happiness. So this is naturally come. Why? Because of the Buddha nature. Like when there's smoke, when there's a fire, smoke comes. Smoke is the sign of a fire. When you see the water bird is flying, that means that near there is water. That is a sign of water. Same way, sign of a Buddha nature is having compassion. And want to be free from samsara, free from suffering. So that way, you're not going to find any sentient being totally lack of a compassion. But all the worldly beings or sentient beings, compassion is turning into the action is very difficult, because we never take responsibility. We even not take responsibility of ourselves. Make sense? So there's one Dubakaji master called the Gozamba Gombotoche. His one instruction on the for immeasurable, particularly loving kindness and compassion. In that instruction, he said, first you have to train how to love yourself. In the common way, people saying I love myself, it means that you just have a kind of sense of attachment. Oh, I'm wonderful, you know. But I think here, what is love yourself mean that you try to see all the good side of good quality, because sometimes people have this sense of this, oh, I'm not good enough, and because of that, then they have lots of stress, depression, sadness, and so many unhappiness created because they never noticing what you have. We don't have enough gratitude of our own life. Make sense? So that way you don't have a sense of love or gratitude of seeing of your own life's goodness. I think so that way you have to start loving yourself. How to love yourself is you have this in the Buddhism, especially in the Vajrayana tradition. Basically, we said our five aggregate are spontaneously present of the five Buddha family, which is mean that naturally we are, nature of our body, five aggregate are Buddha. So we said inner Buddha, yeah. So we're not recognizing that one. So that way we always have this kind of sense of looking down ourselves, not recognizing our own true nature. So I think we have to try to see the goodness within within ourselves. You have to learn how to respect yourself. You have to learn how to be grateful to yourself. You have to noticing all the good things in your life. Because I think this is a human nature. When something bad, we notice it immediately, but when something good, we barely noticing. Like somebody do many times, help to you many times. You treat that one as a kind of like a everyday, regular, or whatever, say, okay, this is just going on. But if that person do one day say a harsh word or something, then rest of your life you remember that one. You get great, grange on that. Make sense? So that way we focus more on the negative things. Like even that way, I mean, you look on the television or anywhere, most of the time they focus on the negative. They barely talk about the positive things. Even that's the talk, maybe talk like 5 seconds. If something did something good, maybe they talk about the 5 seconds. But when something bad happened, the majority of time they spend on that. Talking. So that way, I think sometimes we're forgetting all the good things in our life. Because of that reason, we have hard time to loving ourselves. Make sense? So you have to learn how to love yourself. Then you can love to someone else. So this loving kindness and compassion have to start from yourself. This Gozamba Gombotoche, according to the Gozamba Gombotoche's instruction, said if you genuine have a feeling of loving kindness and compassion to yourself, then loving kindness to compassion to other sentient beings come easily. So that way you have to learn how to have a truly loving kindness toward to yourself. Make sense? So that's and it's, that when you truly have a to love with the responsibility, then you're not going to do all those things that cause you to misery, cause you to suffering. Like in the Buddhism, and particularly in the Vajrayana, it said in the one of the 14 root downfalls said, your own 5 aggregate are 5 Buddha. When you abuse that one, it's become a downfalls. So we have to be careful. Careful mean the careful with how it behave about all livelihood. I think that is how then we can take the responsibility about well-being ourselves. It doesn't mean that responsibility just pay the bill, responsibility just feed and have put clothes and roof on the top. That is alone is a good responsibility enough. Make sense? Yeah. So I actually that part that much, even the animal can do better. Yeah. So I think that way human must have something that a little bit more than that animal we can count. So this love, what is in the Buddhism, you have to learn how to separate loving kindness from the attachment. Because attachment is a feeling of a negative, which is a result give us a sufferings. Loving kindness is a feeling of the positive. Yeah. So another way also we can say how you can say you have a Buddha nature is like when you have that kind of positive feeling, you are comfortable, you are relaxed. When you have a negative feeling, which is the opposite, contradictory with your own nature, then you have a unease. Like two opposites come together, an interruption will comes. Yeah, when two positive come together, then whatever, two same one come together, never come this eruption, yeah? Eruptions. So I think that way we can tell whenever we have a thought, such positive thought, such as a loving kindness, compassion, and that kind of thought only give you the feeling of ease and joy. So what is the loving kindness according to the Buddhism? This is not just talking about the only Buddhism's responsibility. This is a law of nature. If you truly want to happiness, then you have to learn this law of nature, which is in the Buddhism text. We do this everyday prayer called the Four Immeasurable. In the first line, it said, "May all mother sentient beings, boundless as a sky, have happiness and cause of happiness." So happiness is the result. Every result have to have a cause. Without a cause, no result going to comes. What is the cause of happiness? Not just having not just having feeling of love is not good enough. You have to have a action. What is the action? Is bring to that cause. So, if you care someone, this is we do. Like our parent, for example, they have a unconditional love. That way, they give us a really hard time. Make sense? Yeah. We have to wake up morning early, have to go to school, do homework, until all those done, never let you rest. So that is a come from the, truly come from the unconditional love. Because sometimes people think that love is mean that just, let you do whatever you want, and no matter what you do, no matter, what you say, always you say, oh, you're wonderful. That's not really love. That is a kind of irresponsible. So, um, I think that I joke sometimes like this, why grandchildren are more close to the grandparent. Because grandparents have no responsibility. Love is equal. Like grandparent and parents' love is the same. But the parents have a responsibility, so that way they always say, give you a hard time. But grandparents have no responsibility, so they only have a fun. Yeah, so I think that way loving kindness means that with a responsibility. So when responsibility then is not necessarily always be sweet. Sometimes it become a bitter. I think it's called the top love. Yeah. So with this, then we train, how to become a good person, how to become educated, how to become hardworking, how to become, all those good manner or good deed at learning in our life. This all is called the cause of happiness. In the even mundane way, happiness is not come just laying down on the couch or playing on the video game or just watching TV every day. Not going to come that happiness. Because sometimes people say, "Oh, I don't want to discipline. I want to be freedoms." Actually, if truly you want to be truly happiness, then you have to learn how to be morality. So, like in the Buddhism, we talk about the what called the ultimate happiness is in nirvana. For reaching to the nirvana, you need to rely on the morality, samadhi, wisdom. So morality means the discipline. You have to learn what should do, what can do, what cannot do, what is good, what is bad, and what should do, what shouldn't do. So I think then from there to then we can gain the sense of So I think that is what does it mean, the cause of happiness. Then, of course, if we come to according to the Buddhism path, then cause of happiness is the meritorious activities, virtuous deed. Make sense? So I think this all come together. Then, once you have this sincere care of a sense of a truly unconditional, or truly love to someone, and then whenever you see in that individual suffering, then you have a sense of genuine compassion comes. What kind of compassion comes? Is a compassion with a responsibility. You're not going to just have a feeling. You will put action. You will do anything that until that person is solve the problem. You will do whatever you can. So that way, even parents come back from the whole day working hard, but still there's help to the kids' homework. Yeah, still they cook for the food meal. So why? Because they want to be, responsibility, not just only want them to be, have a feeling of compassion. So that way, I think I genuinely believe if we don't have a truly, genuine loving kindness, there's a really impossible to have a compassion. Even you may have a compassion, but that compassion never become action. because you feel like it's not my responsibility. If you're driving on the street, you see lots of homeless. You know they don't have enough food. You know their living conditions are really bad. But when you pass driving from there, that feeling of compassion is also disappeared. That you will already change. But if someone, so you truly love someone, when you see that condition, even you pass, you never lose that feeling until you do something. You're never going to stop thinking about that one. Make sense? So that way, I think having compassion toward to the other, and particularly that compassion put on the truly action is just how much you have a genuine loving kindness that make different. So then when it comes to the compassion, also compassion, you must have yourself also compassion. How to you meditate on the yourself as a compassion. You say, yes, I have a human body. I'm grateful that because of my past life, give me in this life precious human life, and I have all those favorable conditions, meeting with the Dharma, have a freedom to practice the Dharma. Because sometimes we, what call that? We don't see the value when things come easily. You have those all freedom and opportunities come easily, so you don't seems it's not really. I don't know how to say this one in English. Yeah, taking granted. We're taking granted. So because things we got easily, then said, oh, this is not important. But this is this in this life, whatever you have easily is not come easily. Many lives hard work, result of many lifetimes hard work, become in this life easily gain. So this life's precious human body is a result of many lifetimes the good deed, and this life's freedom, and all those favorable conditions that what you need for the a meeting with the Dharma, have a ability to practice the Dharma, and have a freedom to practice the Dharma, and all this called the favorable condition is a come many cause and condition putting many lifetimes. So even we have this one, still our mind is constantly corrupted with the afflictive emotions. Generally there's have no limitation of the afflictive emotions. There's so many different type of afflictive emotions. But when they are kind of summarize, then Buddha said there's 84,000 type of afflictive emotions. Yeah, so all those 84,000 type of afflictive emotion is when summarizing and become a three: ignorance, attachment, and aversions. Yeah, so when you have even you have a precious human life, even you meet with the Dharma, even you understand the Dharma, even you have a knowledge about the Dharma, and still your mind is corrupted with the afflictive emotion of attachment, then you have to have a compassion yourself, because this attachment will bring me to the reborn to the lower realm, and plant the seed of this attachment is plant the seed of misery, sufferings. So that way, in the second line, if you look here, said, may they be free from suffering and cause of suffering. So what is the cause of suffering? It's a negative emotion and action that is motivated by that negative emotions. motivate, or how to say, action that is a cause.
Being motivated is correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so that we do because of the attachment, we engage into the negative action. So the action that is driven by attachment, can say, yeah. So those we do those things. So even we know the dharma. We, sometimes people think that dharma, oh, you are monk, you're nun, you're dharma practitioner, you should be pure. It's not it's not easy to stay whole day pure. We know those emotions are not good, but still constantly come those emotions. Whenever those emotions comes, immediately think, yes, you have a precious human life. You meet with the Dharma. You understood the Dharma, but still your mind is corrupted with this emotion. That is what is mean that meditating compassion to yourself. Why you have to be this compassion or sympathy or kind of like a wildness, yeah, awareness is a reason, because this emotion will bring you to the reborn in the lower realm. So basically, in the jewel ornament said, if you do negative action motivated by the attachment, which is can be bring you to the reborn in the lower realm of hungry ghosts. So it's possible to can create it cause to reborn in the hungry ghost from this emotion. So when you remember that one, then one thing is you meditating compassion to yourself. At the same time, you're remembering this emotion is not good. Then slowly you can you can free from that emotions. When you have a freedom from that emotion, then you can have a chance to totally liberation from the suffering. That is what is meditation about mean. In the Buddhism's main reason why we're meditating, why we're practicing, why we're learning is really main reason is freedom. Freedom from who? From your own emotion. Make sense? So right now it's not easy. Why we are really hard to free from that emotion? It's because that emotion is a really old habit. We don't have a record of when it started, that emotion. It's called the beginningless. Yeah, so that way it's hard to get rid of it. So whenever you have this emotion, just remember that one. I have a precious human life. I meet with the Dharma. I know the Dharma. I know that this emotion is not good. Still having this one. So that is what is mean the meditation on and this will bring me to the lower realm. So that is called the meditation on the compassion to yourself. Same thing as when you have aversions. So Khenpo said, aversion bring you to the reborn in the lower realm of the hell beings. Hell being is a result of the afflictive emotion of the aversions, like anger, hatred, that kind of emotions bring to the lower realms. So whenever you have aversions, think about that one. That's what's mean the meditation on the compassion to yourself. Then same with the ignorance. So these three emotions, ignorance, attachment, and aversions, is the cause to reborn in the three lower realms. Ignorance will bring us to reborn in the animal realms. Attachment can be reborn to the hungry ghosts, and aversion can be reborn to the hell realms, just genuinely because this nature of this emotion is related to those three nature of those three lower realms. Or, in the Khenpo said, or when you do any of those emotions, ignorance, attachment, aversions, greater, that can be reborn to the low, hell realms. When you do the medium, can be reborn to the hungry ghost, and when do the small portion, then it can be reborn to the animal realms. Either way, these three result of these three negative emotions only can be reborn in the lower realms. So that is how you meditate yourself as a compassion. When you meditate this way, compassion, then you can meditate compassion to anyone. Because right now, most of people have really difficulty to meditate compassion to the evil one. Make sense? People have a hard time to, how can I meditate compassion to this bad person? Such and such is behaving this bad way, because sometimes you feel like when you meditate in compassion to them, it's like a seem like it's you forgiving their all behaviors. You saying it's okay you behave that way. It's nothing have to do with that. Compassion means so you have a feel of like when somebody is stealing or doing something bad, breaking the law, you have a compassion way because that person will receive the punishment. Yeah, they cannot escape from the consequence of a punishment from the law. So that is how I think. Then once you have this sense of meditation on the compassion yourself, then you can apply that one to the every sentient beings. You can say every sentient being have a Buddha nature. Yeah, every sentient being naturally is pure, but still they are corrupted their mind with this negative emotion, drive by those negative emotion to behave this way. I think that then you can, in the Buddhism, we saying is Buddha said, I separate the individual and negative emotions. The negative emotion on that individual is my enemy, not the individual. Because in the Buddhism, especially in the Mahayana, you cannot forsake any sentient beings. Doesn't matter who they are. If you forsake one sentient beings, you destroy your bodhicitta. But then same time, you cannot have a kindness to the evil one. In the Vajrayana, 14 root downfalls, 10th one said, being kind to the, I don't know, Tula Tato Chantempa Jabandini Juberdus. Tula mean the bad one. I don't know, maybe English, what exactly quote vocabulary they use. Basically, it's the saying, it's the meaning is the saying, so when somebody is bad behaving, when you have a compassion to that behaving, becoming root downfalls. So that is how not become by carrying them, not become Vajrayana root downfall is by this meditation. Make sense? So then you're not going to have this, sense of still loving kindness of, like a what do we think as a rewarding to. We're not rewarding, we're not supporting their behavior, and same time you're not losing the care. I think in said this one a few times in the school when I was talking to the kids. I said, when I was a kid in the monastery, we have 3 senior monks, and one is like my teacher. He's kind of like not really serious, strict on me, but same time he guide, make sure we not do this, so that way he give the discipline. Then one senior monk, they're really cool. We always have, happy to hanging around with him because he never say anything. Then one is one of my uncle. He's like a tiger. None of a monk want go to around him because he always constantly scold. So, and when we were a kid, always think, oh, this one senior monk who never scold us, he's cool. But then now you grow up, then you will look back, So actually, people who give you the hard time, they do that one because they care about you. Make sense? Yeah. So I think this is a way to, then you can, then when come to the compassion also, lots of time people say, oh, I have a great compassion toward the every sentient beings. But then they learn in Dharma, when they're talking about the Dharma, their knowledge is great. But when dealing with the actual reality, they are really, really poor. They cannot take even the small ones, cannot tolerate. Yeah, sometimes actually more we learning Dharma, we become a more sensitive. so compassion and action mean that just do around you. Like in the prayer said all mother sentient beings. In the prayer said all mother sentient beings. You have to compassion to the every sentient beings. Actually, reality is you have to start from one person. Easiest way is a person that close to you. Or practical way is a person always with you, around you. You have to, no matter what, you have to learn how to meditate the loving kindness and compassion. When you become strong with that individual, then I think that one day possible can be meditated loving kindness, compassion to the every sentient beings. Right now, it's impossible. So that reason we say prayer, all mother sentient beings, but nothing related to us, our emotionally. Nothing come, nothing connect. So our hope or future plan is you have to meditate the loving kindness all sentient beings. But actually, practically, you have to start from one person. Make sense? So then, with this person, when you have a sincere, unconditionally loving kindness and compassion, then you can apply that one to the every sentient being, slowly. Then one day, you can say all mother sentient being, and that is also with the feeling of what you're saying, the prayer. Then it means to something, yeah. So I think that is what is meant. I think what called the compassion in the action. So then one day you can have this equanimity. Yeah. So Jidisumgun mentioned about example of what is example of what is loving kindness mean. He said loving kindness means that when mother see the child, feeling from the mother to child is called the loving kindness, because there's no other agenda, only care. But when come to the like a spouse, you can say spouse, yeah, spouse, they have some agenda when they said I love you, you know. But when a mother said to the child or father said to the child, when said I love you, there's no agenda. It's come genuinely, unconditionally. So that way you have to come that one. Then compassion, as I said, when you see the leper, the disease, someone caught with a really bad disease, even that is you know that person did lots of bad things, still you become compassion when you see that one, someone is sick. So that is come genuinely feeling. So you have to come that one, say, to the other sentient beings. It means the compassion means that you wishing them be free from that suffering. So how to wishing is not going to give you the actually result. Sometimes people say request on prayer. Of course, prayer is a great powerful, but prayer alone not going to change the reality. If prayer alone can change, then Tibetan issue will be changed long time ago. We do lots of prayers, Lots of people do the everyday Jambala prayers, but their financial state is the same. Nothing changed. So this one have really nice discussion between the Mahakashyapa and the Buddha. So Mahakashyapa asks how to reach to the nirvana. What is the step? So Buddha said, if you want to go to the other side of the river, how you go? And Mahakashyapa said, if a river is not so deep, you can walk. If a river is deep, if you know how to swim, you can swim. If you don't know how to swim, you can use boat. Then Buddha said, you don't want to walk in the water. You don't want to swim. And you don't want to rely on the boat. It's still possible to get there. So Mahakashyapa said, that's impossible. So Buddha said, same things. Just doing the prayer cannot reach to you there. So you have to be put on the action. So I'm not saying it's don't do the prayer. Prayer is really powerful. It's called the power of the truth. Okay, it's called truth of unchanging truth. So that truth have a great power. But since we are not just only, emotion body, we're not only mental body, we have a physical body. So physical body, not just action, prayer alone is not going to help. We need action also. So I think one time Dalai Lama's birthday, Desmond Tutu said, sometimes people want to become a great one. So he said, becoming great doesn't mean that you have to do something, how to say, something is like something that is a huge one.
Like grand.
Yeah. Just do the around you, simple things, And so same thing is, I think compassion in action, it means just do the around you, take care of each other, look whatever you can do. Because sometimes we are really good with the prayer, but we're not that good with the action. So even Dalai Lama said one time, actually certain things we need to learn from the Christian brothers and sisters, because they are really good for taking care for community. Make sense? They have a soup kitchen, they have a homeless shelter, and they build a hospital, they build a school, and lots of way to do the community service. So it's, and I mean, we have to, everyone can do that one, but still, even we cannot do that one. But there are small things we can do. I think whatever according to our capacity and whatever we can help, and just do that one. That's how make the world is different. Yeah. So small way to change the one small things, change the societies. Benefit for that. I think something like that. Then, and also, when somebody is doing that, like someone who opened the soup kitchen for the homeless, it doesn't mean to everyone have to open the soup kitchen. So each some people are good for helping certain way, but some people are good for helping some other way. So whatever your ability, based on your ability, just taking care for each other. That's, I think, become actually action. Then prayer and action, those two come together. It's just like a wisdom and a method. So that way, I think compassion in action is more like taking responsibility, not just have a feeling. Because sometimes people think compassion means just feeling. It's not just feeling. I think more than feeling. I say, having taking responsibility. Yeah. So responsibility doesn't mean that you have to handle everything, but just whatever you can. From there to, I think, then doesn't become, we are in the prayer. In prayer said, compassion means that all mothers should be free from suffering and cause of sufferings. Not just only liberate them from the suffering, also help them how to stop continuing cause of sufferings. So according to the Buddhism, what is the cause of suffering? Is it? Negative action, which is created by the negative emotions. That's called the cause of sufferings. So, what is the negative action? Is like, for example, called the 10 non-virtues. So 10 non-virtue, from the 10 non-virtue, first one is for physically, there's 3. One is called the killing. And to killing there's 3 way to kill. 3, can say 3 emotion, motivated by the 3 emotions. Like some killing, putting action on the killing because of the attachment. you kill for sport, you kill for food, because of the attachment, you start harming other sentient beings. Then sometimes people kill because of the hatred. Like a war, most of war, killing each other, killed by hatred. Negative emotion of hatred. Hatred?
Hatred. It's got a D on the end.
Huh?
Hatred. It's got a D on the end.
Hatred.
Hatred. Okay, hatred. Yeah. Then killing by the ignorant, lots of time people do the, like a ritual. The ritual, we put the animal sacrifice. So this kind of negative, motivated by the negative emotion. Can say negative emotion? So this is what is mean the cause of suffering. And in the Buddhism, it's called the karma. It's called the negative karma. So this action that is driven by the sudden negative emotion, then it's become negative karma. Make sense? So then we're creating from there to suffering. So not just only like free them from that kind of sufferings, also you have to help them to continually, kind of like liberate them from the cause of sufferings. So what is the cause of suffering? It's a negative karma. Because until you help sentient beings, liberating from the negative karma, they cannot be free from sufferings. So that is called the cyclic existence, samsara. Cyclic existence is continuing. Something is continuing. How to continue? We have a negative emotion. Because of the negative emotion, we behave a negative, action. Because of the negative action, there will be negative consequences. Because of the negative consequences, they have a delusion, ignorance. Because of the ignorance, we again have this negative emotions. So I think this circle is never be stopped, continuing until you have to help them to how to liberate from the cause of sufferings. So cause of suffering is a negative emotion. So that's earlier I mentioned when in the Buddhism we said meditate. Meditation means just how to liberating your mind from the negative emotion. You have to measure if you have been Buddhism how many years, and within those years how much you reduce your negative emotion. If you cannot reduce your negative emotion, then your practice is not working. Because our goal is liberation. Only we can liberate by reducing cause of sufferings. So ourselves or other sentient beings. So that is what does the action mean? How to liberate from that continuing of that cause. Until we cannot help ourselves or anyone freeing from that emotion, ignorance, attachment, aversion, we will never liberate from the sufferings. So if you want to be someone free from sufferings, don't just try to comfort them. Just help them to how to stop continuing of this negative karma, which is created by the negative emotion. Same thing as ourselves. So that way, like Kosama Kobotochi said, when you have this kind of emotions, you need compassion. Why you need compassion is because then you have a sense of, yeah, this is not good emotion. I must stop. You're not, it didn't say you have rejoice. Rejoice means something is you're doing something good. Compassion means that something that you make a mistake. So you have to recognize your mistake. Once you recognize your mistake, then you can stop. That is what it means. The compassion means the free from suffering. Free from suffering is just not come from just doing the prayer, reciting the mantra, doing prostration, accumulation, what called circumambulation. Just doing all those activity alone cannot become, free from the cause of suffering. So if we truly want to be free from the cause of suffering, then you have to be work with that. What is the cause of sufferings? We have to liberate ourselves from that main cause. So I think from there to then we can see what does meditation on the compassion mean? Otherwise, sometimes we said, I have truly compassion, but we do nothing. And of course, when come to the truly compassion, then like Shantideva said, you put yourself one side, and every sentient being put one side. Now measure which one is more important. Then you can sense we call the altruistic motivation, yeah? Then actually truly we can have this called compassion in action. We need to build that. If I take care of myself, only benefit for me, like sometimes lots of people have a hard time to understand the Buddha's action of leaving his wife, kids. Some people think that's not nice. If he wants to take care of himself, he can do that. He stay home with a wife and kids. He still can liberate himself. But that is not can become path for everyone. So he sacrificed everything for us. He sacrificed everything. He sacrificed his children. He sacrificed his kingdom. He sacrificed his parent. He sacrificed his own well-being, everything to find this path. So that way we have this unmistaken path. Why I call the unmistaken path? Because Buddha taught the truth. So that kind of sacrifice created, bring to this kind of result. So then I think that is what is mean the compassion in action. Otherwise, I think Buddha just stayed on the palace and do the everyday prayer. Maybe possible work. I don't know. So according to the Buddhism, whenever we're talking about the love, it's not just saying as you have a feeling of a kind of a how to say this, attachment, affection. It's not talking about the feeling of affections. So when love is saying like wishing them to be happy. like a mitra. Mitra means the dear one, like like a friend, sincere, kind of like true friendship. That's what the mitra. Then karuna means that's called the compassion, which is mean the want to be free from sufferings. So if you care someone, then you will do anything to until that person, that individual is free from the problem. So that way earlier I said, if you truly want to be, meditation, a good practitioner for the compassion, and then you need a sense of loving kindness. With the sense that loving kindness, then can have a true compassion. Then compassion is also with a sense of a feeling of a compassion, which comes from the loving kindness that become naturally in action. Feeling of a compassion without the truly, genuine loving kindness, it never become action. So, like example is if you find someone on the street, sleeping on the street, you have a sincere compassion when you see that person, but you're not going to do anything for that. Maybe you give some food or a little bit of money. You're not going to do more than that. But if you see someone, your dear one, loved one, same situation, you're not going to stop just giving some food or some money. You will do everything what you can, finding place to stay, finding job, and until that person is staying on his or her own foot, you will do whatever you can. Make sense? So that is what it means, the compassion in action mean. So that for that, you need a really, truly feeling of loving kindness. Then it's become, true compassion. Otherwise, I don't know what can call this, feeling, just a feeling of a compassion when someone is destitute, one is a sea. At the moment you can have, but after the little while it's going to be vanish, and you go to normal life. So I think that is different. So that way, I always say, believe who can be truly become compassionate one, who can have true compassion is a person who have a sincere loving kindness. As long as you have a loving kindness, you don't need to meditate on the compassion. It naturally comes. That way, Buddha's teaching order always come compassion. So now, loving kindness for the need a reason to be loved. That's just not come, then without the reasons. So there's many reasons how to you love yourself. I mean, you have to see all the good part of yourself. So you have to love to yourself. You have to compassion to yourself. You have to love and compassion toward to the Guru and three jewels. You have to love and compassion toward to the other sentient beings. You have to love and compassion toward to the environments. Not just only sentient beings, even our planets, we need this loving kindness and compassion. And in like, for example, in the Vajrayana, we said our five aggregate, our five Buddha family, and 5 elements are 5 female Buddha. So that is what is a, sincere, loving kind. I'm okay, thank you. So what is, I think, what does loving kindness mean? Make sense? Yeah. So with this, then when we say the prayer, there's have a purpose of this meditation. We have some kind of purpose. Yeah, make sense? Yeah. Yeah, with this. So I think that's what I think on the what is when it comes to the loving kindness and compassion. So if you have any suggestion other than that, you're welcome. Yes?
Could you speak about the practice of Lojong
Yeah.
in relation to this compassion?
Yeah. So Lojong is there's a true way to do the Lojong practice. Actually, Lojong means the mind training. Okay, Lojong means the mind training. It means that because earlier I said that our mind is really have a old habit, which is stronger toward to the negative. So I have to train our mind with a positive way, like kindness, compassion. So that is a training. That is what is called the Lojong. And this Lojong also, because in the Mahayana, why is it focusing on the Lojong is a self and other exchange one. Why we have to do is because we have this habit, strong habit of self-cherishing, self-grasping, self-centered. From the beginning, let's always say me, what's good for me. We always thinking ourselves. So there's one, there was one quote said, worldly beings, sentient beings, thinking themselves, that we're wandering in the samsara continually. Buddha, care for other, that will become enlightenment. So now think which one is more beneficial. So Lojong means also that that habit is breaking through the many different kind of method. There are most of the practice is a kind of, can say, part of the Lojong. So but famously knowing of the Mahayana practice of Bodhicitta, then that is most of time Lojong word, Lojong vocabulary is used in there. So it's including called the Donglin, yeah, Donglin. So Donglin is really powerful, but also heavy responsibility. Because sometimes people think, I do the Donglin, it's not going to come to me. I just do the meditation. Actually, it comes to you. So you need a strong mind. When it comes to you, you have to have a strength that can handle that. Makes sense? So that way, I said Lochung is really powerful, same time have a heavy responsibility. So you have to prepare. When you said, I want to sell another exchange, you have to have a heart of a willing to give up everything from you to take all the bad things from other. Yes.
So in that practice, then you said earlier about prayer just isn't enough.
Yeah.
Is that sort of like the next evolution step towards?
Yeah, I mean that.
Taking on, would you call that taking on a karma or?
Yeah, that's actually called basically it's a original. I think it really is a mind kind of like a situation exchanging through the mind, but that through the emotionally exchanging the situation, it can become a reality. Make sense? So whatever strong emotion put, that is become reality. So that way, you have to prepare that when it come to you, you have to learn how to handle that one. You need a sense of yes, I can take this responsibility. Like when somebody is really tired, then you cannot say or just sit down there and said, I want to do the tonglen to take his tiredness to me and my relax to give him. Then you sitting on the bench and not going to do that way. You have to stood up, say that person, you relax, I will do for your job. So I think that one. But but sometimes when it happen to you, and sometimes it's not easy to handling. Make sense? So there's another way, actually, very effective, easy to handle, and a great benefit. It's called carrying on the path. In Tibetan word called the lamdong, not dongling. Lamdodong, lam means the path. Carrying or becoming the path or something like that. I don't know in the correct translation. I think carry on the path maybe. Sent into the path. Whatever situation, it creating that as a path. So how to do that one? This one is I think anyone can do and easy to handle, and actually it really help yourself emotionally. Yes, sir? Like for example, when you have a headache. Yeah, like for example, you have a headache, really bad headache. Right now you try to take medication and you say have a complaint, I have a headache, this and that. But then just sit down there and said, okay, I have this headache. This headache is created by my previous karma, something I did. That's why I have this headache. Yeah? Now, from this headache, pay off every sentient being who created similar karma like this. So that way they don't have to deal with this suffering. From my headache, pay off everyone's similarly suffering like headache. So that way they don't have to suffering. So this is a really powerful. There's one story called the Deben Zawi Pomo, which just means the captain, friendly captain's daughter. Which just means that sometime, in Asia have this method about sometime when kids not stay, lots of children always die from the birth or, after the birth, they not staying, then they give the name, odd name. So the odd name help them to protect. So this couple, the husband is a margin in the sea margin. What called pirate?
Oh, pirate.
Yeah. Merchant, I think merchant, yeah.
Merchant.
Yeah, merchant.
Merchant sale.
Yeah. Yeah. Then they never had, kid always dying. So then one day they have a boy, but they give a name daughter. So that was called the captain, friendly captain's daughter, his name. So when he grew up, he asked his mother, because father died in the ocean. So first she didn't tell, but then later, then she told him who his father was. Then he want to do same things his father, but she begged him, and he kind of treated her really bad there. So but before that, he really take care of her. So end up his boat was crashed, and he was born in called the occasional hell, actually, in the island. So then he went to there's one small, kind of nice palace, and in the palace there have many girls. They serve him, and he's really happy there. But everyone said, "Don't go south." So he was curious. He went to south, actually better palace, more luxury, So then they also told him, "Don't go to south." So he went. Then he went a few like that. Then there's one metal iron house, and somehow he got inside the house. There's no door. And one guy in this house, there's only one guy. And on his head, there's a wheel spinning. So then he was really suffering. Then he asked, "Why you are here?" He said, "Oh, because I kicked my mother. That way I'm misery here in the hell." So then Captain, this daughter of the Captain Friendly, he's realizing, "Oh, I'm here because I hate my mom." This karma. When he thought that one, immediately a word came from the space, said, earlier one release, and the new one. Yeah. So the wheel automatically come up from that guy, land on his crown, his head. Then the wheel spinning on his head, and he's so suffering from that. And then he said, this is my karma, because what I treat my mother. Now I want to pay off everyone, every sentient beings who created this kind of similar karma from my suffering. He didn't say, "I want to free from this suffering." He said, "I'm suffering. I have to deal with this, my karma, but I want to pay off everyone's suffering from this." So that is what's called the method of carrying on the path, whatever situation. And this is anyone can practice. And there's not going to have dangers of, later, because Tongling is a little bit, how to say, sometimes difficulty, like Pamadruba get lots of headache. And he said, because I did so much Tongling, that way comes. So if you're not prepared to taking all the others are suffering, he said, don't do. Then better do this lamdong. So that way, yes, in the lojong, in the West lojong, mean that always people think about this training of Tongling meditation. Yeah, people think. But the Tibetan lojong mean that like a meditation on the four training of the mind. That is a lojong. Meditation on the four dharma of Gampopa. That is a lojong. So anything is related to the mind's training as it become lojong. Lo mean the mind, jong mean the train, mind training. So mind training mean that, like earlier I mentioned, we constantly have this negative emotion without the effort. So that from there to you have to be build habit of a positive emotion. What is the positive emotion? Is it like a loving kindness and compassion. So I think so this one is in the mind training. Lots of time people use this one. Make sense? Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
when you were talking earlier about cause and effect and prayer in your delivery tonight. Oh, and by the way, thank you for the teaching. This is really good teaching.
Thank you.
I was reminded of a story that I heard a long time ago. I think it was a Christian story about a businessman who was praying to be rich. He had money, but he wanted lots of money. And he kept praying, but his prayers weren't coming true. And someone who was close to him pointed out to him that his prayers weren't coming true because in his daily life he was doing a lot of non-virtuous kind of things. Sinning, he was stealing from people. I think he was cheating people as well. And his friend, or whoever this was, told him, if you change your mind, if you change your life and quit stealing and quit cheating, then you'll have a better chance of your prayers coming true. So he changed his life, that's the story, quit doing these sinful, bad things, and he didn't get the riches, the money that he wanted, but he found great wealth. Good friends started showing up, opportunities started happening for him. And so when you were talking earlier, I was thinking, partly our conversation last night too, that the things that we do in our daily life can be holding us back from better accomplishments, not just in our practice, but in our daily life. I think that's part of what I'm hearing tonight in your message.
Yeah, I think that so sometimes we look on the quantity, but we couldn't find the quality. Yeah, so we're missing the quality. And also, I think prayer only work if that is supported by the good merit. So that way, when the person stop doing all those, that is actually virtue. Like when we said 10 virtue, what's the 10 virtue mean? That, abandoning the 10 non-virtue is the 10 virtue. Stop doing the 10 non-virtue. That is the virtue. Make sense? So once we have a support of the good virtuous deed, then prayer will work. When we don't have a good virtuous deed, the prayer doesn't work. So this is like if you don't have a good critic score, you cannot go to shopping. Yeah, I think so. I mean, like if you don't make the money, you cannot go to spend the money. Prayer is the same as spending the money. You only can spend the money if you make the money. So that way, if without the making money, if we try to go to the shopping, it doesn't work. Your car will be, what called it?
Repossessed.
Yeah. Something like that, I think. So we have to learn how to love ourselves. We have to have compassion. So I think, so now on, anytime you have any negative emotion, start have a compassion. It really help you. For me, it help really. Whenever I have any kind of negative emotion, and when think about all this just I mentioned earlier, it really help to and let's not continue on that. So yeah. Thank you.
Khenpo